water bath. And then there's going to be, like, it's going to say LLL on all of the water baths except on Chad's that he's using today, because that probe works. This probe doesn't work here, and it doesn't work at all the other ones that are like this kind of water bath. But if you look at the front where the temperature dial is, there will be a mark to tell you from previous classes where they're like, hey, this is about where it holds steady for the temperature. And then since I have leftover water, I can keep this, and let's go get our other supplies, okay? Make sure everybody has a trash can at their station as well too. Chad, you might have to steal one from one of the embedding areas, okay? Yeah. Good job, Coda. Self-ice. Okay? So, everybody's going to grab one thing of ice. So what you should be doing, genuinely, is you should be looking, because since we have day cohort and night cohort, you should be taking the lid off first to check if it's frozen or not. Because some of them might still be liquid from the night before, okay? Because we're less than 12 hours in between shifts. Okay, so you want to check. This is perfectly fine. It doesn't have to be an even surface. It definitely helps if it's an even surface, but this is perfectly fine. So everybody go ahead and choose ice. Slam it. Out easily or not. So, make sure you guys get your lamps on for your water bath too, if it has one. Okay, good. Everybody already has done that. Okay, did everybody get a thermometer? Coda. I'm kidding. But, so with any residual water you have, what you're going to do is you're going to pour it on the ice. Because I know in the lectures it's like, oh, use your ice just like ice. I discovered this in industry. The more melted my ice was, the better my blocks would cut. When I was in class, we were just told to use just straight up ice, and then I was like, wow, this is so much nicer. You can even take bits of the ammonia from here using a transfer pipette, add it to your ice as well too. Some students really enjoy doing that. I just don't heavily encourage it because most laboratories will not allow you to do that and will just allow you to use ice or watery ice, okay? Okay, so everybody, let's make sure everybody has some blades. Let's make sure everybody has a few pieces of gauze at their station. I usually will keep one on my right side, one on my left, and it's just to clean my forceps. Make sure you have access to Kim wipes. And remember, it's going to be like embedding where you're going to tear your Kim wipes apart to make it go a long way. And then I like to put them in front of my microphone, just like this, so that they're there and easy for access. So you have 2 forceps, 1 probe, 1 skinny brush, and 1 big brush, okay? And then you're also going to want to have 1 of these rubber brushes as well too, so and a razor blade too. So everybody go ahead and start getting your supplies.
These ones?
The smaller ones.
Oh, small.
I won't reach over.
Like one of these?
Yeah, that one I feel.
So one big, one small, one pro.
I just don't have to reach over everything and like knock something over.
Brush.
Where the other finishing brushes?
Oh, toothbrush. Brush. Maybe take a brush.
I might do it. That's fine.
silicone brush. Blade. And that's it. Ice and water bath. I mean, the ice bath.
Curiosity, you said that one was the only one with the working temperature probe and that all the others would have like 3 hours. This one's showing a temperature.
Oh, cool.
Nice.
So not like a curiosity, but like a statement. I think is what you meant.
Oh no, it was just more curious as to whether like that. You said all of them were broken. So I just...
They're all supposed to be broken, yeah.
What? Well,
Cool.
Survivor. Well, that's Survivor.
Okay, ready guys?
You
No, it's okay. It's because you. But actually, yeah, I will say it yours. Yeah, but I think so. Okay, good. And you've already got your paraffin on ice. Good. So, Chad already has his paraffin on ice, which is great because that's exactly what we want to do. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to move this bottom component
Put paraffin on ice.
up forwards because as we know, the further out your arm is, the more likely you're going to get thick thin. Another thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put my arm all the way back as far as it'll go against the machine, okay? Also, before I forget, once all of your water baths have settled at a temperature, you're going to write by its name up there on the whiteboard what the temperature of the water bath is, okay? Okay, so another thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to check how close it is. Okay, cool. I'm good to go right there. So now I'm going to unlock my blade holder and I'm going to push my blade out. So again, this is a high profile blade. You guys are not using these unless you're sitting at this station, okay? I'm just gonna slide it in there, and I'm gonna lock it in place. Oh, I should have locked this before. There. And now I'm just moving my blade over. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna see, this is my first one. I usually will put my blocks like this in numerical order up at the top. But Chad likes it starting from the bottom, but I like to do left to right, top to bottom, as if you're reading a book, but I'm going to move it back into Chad's organization. Everybody organizes this differently. There's no right or wrong. Literally, there's just not. Okay? So what I like to do is I like to pat off any excess water. The top of your cassette is going to face towards the left because that's what I'm used to at work. I'm going to adjust my blade to match it. And then now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just, I need to switch my chair, I'm too short for this one. Let's get that heavy one here. So you want to make sure that you have a nice chair that's good for your height, because you should be, whoops, forgot to put that over. But you should be able to, when you're cutting, be able to go like this over the top of it, to see if you can actually align it. Another thing, everybody go get a blade and microtome sign, okay? This is perfectly fine for you to do with your microtome, okay? Okay, now let's wipe off the water. And now I'm gonna do that same exact thing again. I'm coming over the top of it, and then I'm bringing it closer. And do you see now, this is called rocking the face. And so that's what I do right here. And so I'm slowly progressing my arm forward on my left hand to put this arm forward, and then I'm rocking it forward like this. I'm gonna set it back. So when I was a student, Becky used to teach us to rock the face like this. And this works really, really good. And you can do the same thing where you bring this arm forward bit by bit by bit. This works really great. The only problem is you're gonna kill your wrist doing that. You're definitely gonna give yourself carpal tunnel syndrome. So what I did instead was I go like this to rock my face, and I push it forward, 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 forward as I progress this arm towards me, okay? But find something that works for you. Some people have bigger hands than me, and they'll take their entire hand and put it around the wheel. I can only go like this much, but they would have their hand across the wheel like this and then rock it that way, okay? I just can't because it's physically impossible for me to do it because I'm too tiny.
Question: when you rocking it forward without complete a full revolution, so it will still move forward?
It's not moving forward because
Yeah,
this
yeah, that's
won't
my
get it,
question.
yeah.
Oh,
But
I have
this,
to.
as I'm doing that, I'm pressing this. Do you hear it?
No.
Isn't that what the thing on the side of those is too?
Uh-huh.
To pull face forward.
The only problem is that this microtome is automated, so it doesn't have that wheel on this side. So you have to progress it using the arrows, okay? So that is a
Okay.
good thing to point out. And that was a good thing to point out as well, too. Okay, so pay attention to both hands, how they're both working. So now I'm going over and I'm bringing it forward using my left hand, just holding it down. And so now, as this is going at this time, this is pressing this button to move the arm forward at the same exact time. So I'm going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then now, do you see how I have this little shaving here? Now that means that my block is at the blade. So now I can go, and now I can make a ribbon. Now I can take my probe, and then I can, so when you're putting your ribbon down on the water bath, don't freak out, you're okay. What you're gonna do is with your hand, you're gonna push outwards and then pull it back in like it's a wave and put it across the water bath like that. Now what I can do is I can manipulate this, and I can take my probe, my forceps, or my paintbrush, and I can anchor it right here so that as I get sections onto my slide, I don't have to chase it around the water bath. So what I'm gonna do now is now I'm gonna take my block out, I'm gonna put it back on the ice. You don't have to do that. I just like to do that because I'm gonna take my time showing you guys this. But in ideal practice, I wouldn't be putting it back on the ice. I would get another ribbon. But essentially, now I'm just gonna get a slide. And this is a charge slide, okay? Do you see how there's plus signs down here? Sometimes there'll be circles or X's. Sometimes the signs will be up here. This means it's a charge slide, meaning that it was dipped in an adhesive. So I can't just pick up sections, put it back in the water, fix it, and then pick it back up. Instead, what happens is it just stays on there, and that's it, okay? So I can't adjust the slide. So if you have a slide that doesn't have any of these symbols on it, that means you have an uncharged slide, and you're able to manipulate it as much as you would like to. So anyways, what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna take my forceps. Do you see where it's breaking right there because it's the next section? You close your forceps like this. You're gonna put it down where that break is and pop it apart. And then now I'm gonna wipe the water that I got on there off onto me. And now I'm going to grab the paraffin. Oh, sorry, my sleeve got in. This is gonna bother me. Does anyone have scissors? So now that didn't work because of my freaking sleeve. So now I'm just gonna manipulate the section over here, and do you see how I grab it a little bit at a time? Now what I'm gonna do is grab where there's no tissue on the paraffin. I dip my slide into the water, I attach it at the top, and then I'm gonna pull my slide forward like this. then what I'm going to do now is I'm going to shake the water off like this. And then my slide can go up here. Now I can take this and I can write my accession number that's on here up here at the very top. So on your slide you want accession number, tissue type, today's date, and your initials. Okay, so those 4 items should be on the title of your slide. Okay.
How long would you say to leave those before they start like pulling?
Oh, no, you're okay. So this is an unstained slide. So these unstained slides can be held indefinitely.
Okay.
Corn flaking is after staining. So it's a good thing that we're asking this question right now too. But so we can leave this up here. And because now I have my section that I wanted for this slide, I can take this block off the ice and now I can file it away in here, okay? And then now I can be like, okay, so let's say we had, where's your box, Chad?
I actually left it.
That's okay. So pretend that this is inside there. You can even, a lot of times I'll even go like, if this didn't have slides in it, I would just go like this, put it off to the side. If you have water in the bottom of this, you can wick it out with your Kim wipe as well too. So what I do for that is I'll wrap it around my finger like this, and then I'll lean my slide to a corner, and then I'll go in the corner. Whoops, I did that way too aggressively. But then I'll just wick it away. And do you see how there's liquid on here now? There's water soaked in. And I can keep reusing it. Okay? And then do you see now these sections have been sitting on the water bath too long? This is tissue explosion. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to wipe it off. Okay? And then I'm going to wipe it off again. And now I can throw it in my trash can. And then do you see how there's still bits of residual tissue? Then I'm going to wipe it off again.
So we have to be very quick on the water bath, otherwise the tissue will explode.
So now I can grab my next one. Let's say now we're doing the next patient tissue. Now I'm going to move my arm backwards like this again. And I'm getting on top of it. And now I'm going to adjust. It doesn't bother me to change tools. You should try to be that way as well too, okay? Okay, so now I have 2 separate ribbons, and now I'm gonna anchor them. And now I can take this, put it back on ice just in case I need to cut into it again. And now I'm gonna look over here and I'm gonna be like, okay, which one is the best section? Whichever one is the best section is what I would pick up. And so I can go underneath my section like this, anchor it right here, and then I can start brushing off this old section like this, so that I never have to snap my section apart. Okay? If I wanted to. This is obviously very time consuming, so a lot of the times I will just snap it apart. But do you see how I was able to get that? So now then I can put this up here. And now this block is technically considered to be cut, and then I can put it over here. And then I just keep going, and I just keep doing that with all of my tissues until I'm done.
This looks deceptively easy.
It's super easy, it's just you have to be comfortable with failing and sucking the first few times. If you're gonna have a problem with that, you're really gonna struggle a lot more than you need to over here. A lot more than would be necessary for you to struggle. You're gonna suck at it again. Whenever you try a new hobby, yes or no, you suck.
Oh, very much so.
Exactly. So you just need to understand that it's okay to make mistakes in here and to suck in here, because especially today, it's your first day. Okay? So don't be acting like you need everything perfect, okay?
Right, we're terrible in here, so that will be good in industry.
Yeah, and then after like today, then you guys are really gonna start to get it, and you're gonna be like, wow, the paraffin was super easy, super easy. You're gonna move the tissue, and you're gonna be like, why did it change so much? And it's just because the tissues, they're super dry, and that's totally normal. Okay, so just be patient with yourselves, work through it, and then we'll see where it takes you. Okay.
Do you want us to face
our blank ones first and go through the motions of labeling them appropriately, or just save it for these?
Have you read your labs?
Thought I did.
So yes, first you have to go through all of your paraffin blocks. Your labs are going to tell you to change what number of microns you're cutting at as well too. After you've done all 3 types of micron settings, then you can be like, okay, I want more practice and I'm going to keep doing my paraffin, or I feel good enough that I'm going to move over into now I'm going to do my 15 in an hour.
Do you recommend that we practice with some tissue or some blocks with tissue in them first before we start our 15?
I mean, that's not a bad idea, especially since you guys have so much. And then another thing too, do you see how many like air bubbles are coming up at the top?
Yeah.
So you can take this rubber brush and you can clean the bottom half, and that's going to get rid of a bunch of your bubbles. That's a nice trick of the trade. The only reason that I don't really lean too heavily on it is because you're actually not going to have these little rubber brushes out in industry. Okay? So try to take advantage of it while you can here, but also understand that this is just, it's not out there in industry for you. Okay?
Do the bubbles cause issues if they get too prevalent?
They can go under your tissue, and that can make people pretty upset because they're like, great, now I have to freaking reset it, which I can understand, but it's also like, it's really not that big of a deal.
On our slides, it also says that they can spike the temperatures at your level.
Not the bubbles, but if you get a crap ton of water, like I'm talking about like a crap ton of, like you got like this much water underneath your water bath, then yes, that would spike your temperature. A little bit of water isn't going to kill you though, trust me, because I used to think that all the time when I went out there into industry, then any little bits of water I would get under, then I would go and try to correct it by picking up my Corning ware and then cleaning up in here. And then what would happen is that trying to pick up the Corning ware and put it on this corner right here caused me to spill even more water into the water bath. And then I would clean it all up, and then I would put the Corning ware back inside. But because we just don't have great balance, and water was spilling everywhere all over again, it's just, trust me, it's so much better to just be like, okay, just be careful when you pour the water in and call it that, okay? Okay, any questions?
Big bucket cutter with stats for disposing of this water, or
We're not there yet. That's at the end of the day, but that's a good question. Okay?
For Chad's station,
Mm-hmm.
how to lock onto the temperature because it's keep rising.
So, Chad's temperature is rising too high. So, I can go to temp and set. And so, it was set at 49. I'll talk to Night Cohort about that. Like, hey, you guys need to set it back. But I'm going to set Chad at 40. So, that's all I'm doing right now is I'm changing the temperature, okay? And if you're having issues with like the temperature where it's rising too high, you could always empty some of this warm water out and replace it with like room temperature water, okay?
Yeah.
So this is alarming, and that's okay, Chad, because it's already over the temperature, and that's the only reason that it's alarming. You can just disregard it as you get practice in, okay? Okay. Any other questions?
Oh, actually, I have a question about the 15. Are we just making, is it 15 different specimens we have to cut, or is it just 15 size tools?
I think I built it where it's like, hey, you should use the 15 from one of your 20 runs.
Okay.
Okay, any other questions? Okay, let's get to it.